So, okay, look, let's be real. You didn't become a coach just to spend every hour on Zoom, right? So, today we're going to be talking about how, like, a one to many offer, a group offer, digital products, that those are not just nice to haves in your business, especially if you are a coach, service provider, consultant. In my previous episodes, I've been talking about, I shared my experience of losing a high paying one on one client. I talked about how I don't even have my own one to many offers, but I know the importance of it. And that's why I am so passionate about what I do and how I can help you and how I have helped clients in the past. And so now I want to just bring it home, if you will, and just talk about like why you need to have these one to many offers. So I have my notes here because perimenopausal brain, okay? And I don't want to necessarily forget what I want to say. So yeah, so here's the thing. The majority of your revenue should be coming from your one to many offers. Because your one-on-ones, right, should be your premium. That should be like your exclusive offers. So everybody shouldn't be getting access to you. That's just period, just on principle alone. Think about a big company like Pepsi, which I used to work for. So Pepsi's CEO, whoever that was, like, they didn't have customers coming to the CEO saying, "Hey, make me a Pepsi." Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know that you're not a Pepsi, but the principle is still the same. If your clients are getting access to you as the CEO, they should be paying a premium, and that shouldn't be something that just anybody off of the street can get access to. You know what I'm saying? Because even though you love your clients, I'm not saying that, but that's a privilege, right? And so if that's the case, then the other things that you're offering, that's where the bulk of your clientele will be. And so that's why I'm saying it's a must have. That's just what your business model should be. And so many of you, including myself, okay, so many of you have just been like, I'm just going to focus on my one-on-ones because, maybe that's how I started my business. That's what I love, right? Because I love working with my clients one-on-one because I feel like it's like more fulfilling for me. Like, I can help them come up with an idea, just say for a product or a service, and then I can help them build it. I can help them, design it. I can help them create the delivery of it. I can help them to market it. And then I can help them enroll people in and operationally make sure that everything works. And then I can help them and I can see them deliver it, right? So it's like you see the full story, and it's just something fulfilling about that. And I love that. Or even like when you plan an event, right? If you've ever planned an event, like, you don't have to do big events like I've done. You could do just like a small party. You're hosting a party for your friends and family or whatever. And even though it's a lot of work, he's like, you have this vision of what the party is going to be. And then you put all of those pieces together, and then you have the party. And even though you're tired, you're like, whoo, but at the end of the day, you're like, "Ah, but I did that," right? There's some joy, there's some fulfillment in that. Y'all, literally, I'm seeing the Little Caesars. This is why I don't need to be in no dang on parking lot. So I'm sitting in, I'm sitting in a plaza, and there's a Little Caesars over here. And so I saw the guy come on his bike when I first started talking to y'all. And so I was like, oh, he must be going to work. That's what I thought. Cause he brought his bike right up to the front. Y'all, he didn't put some pizzas on the back and left. Okay, but no. Maybe he worked somewhere else, and maybe that's just lunch. Maybe he came and got their lunch and then he ride his bike back. Cause can you imagine if he was like the delivery anyway, come on. Cause that just had like, why did my mind go there first? That, oh my God, he's a delivery guy and he delivered pizzas on the back of his bike, and it was, the boxes were kind of squished because he had them like tied down. So okay, so yeah, he just had to been picking them up, and then okay, well, okay, cool. Okay, back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Let me look at. Hold on, let me look at my nose. Hold on. I know y'all probably can't even hear me. Okay, wait. Okay, so anyway, so I'm saying that to say that your premium, your one-on-one should be your premium offers. You should have a small number of people that get to work with you one-on-one, and they don't pay for it, right? And then everyone else, they should be in some kind of either a it still needs to be group, right? It doesn't have to be 100 people. It could be a 10-person group or a 20-person, or you could have a low ticket digital product where you can take even more people, right? Or less, right? Like, it's up to you on what you want to do, depending on the type of business that you have, the kind of coaching that you do, the kind of services that you provide, right? Like, you can create what you want. It's your business. But the point is that you have to have these different touch points and how you work with your clients, and they can't all be one-on-one, right? So let me tell you a story. Okay, wait, hold on. I was trying to look and see what I had on my notes. Okay, because here's the thing. Yeah, this story still applies. So, and I gotta hurry up because I need to get back to the house. It's getting hot in here. What the heck? I thought I was in the shade, but it's still getting hot. Anyway. Okay, so, and here's the thing. And I'm saying that you need to have digital products or one-to-many offers, and not, like, you could go the agency route, right, as a coach or a service provider. But let me tell you, so when I had my agency, when I first started my business, and I was a virtual assistant, and then I started a virtual assistant agency because people were always coming to me, especially people that I knew when I worked my corporate jobs. They knew my work ethic, and so they were always like, hey, like, you used to be an assistant. Do you know an assistant that could help me in my business, as an entrepreneur? And so that's how I started getting into the virtual assistant game. And so I ended up having one, two, three, four. Yeah, I think I ended up having 4 subcontracted VAs, and we had probably about 8 to 10 clients. And so I had a full agency. I was like booked, right? I was making 6 figures. We were raking in the coveted 10K plus months, right? And although, yes, that was a way to quote unquote grow my business, it wasn't necessarily me scaling, because it still was a one-to-one business model. Because even though, yeah, I had these 4 women that were working for the clients, they could only work for so many clients at a time. So even if each of them had 2 clients, right? Like, I couldn't really do much more than that, maybe 3, depending on the type of work that we were doing for some of those clients. But so now I'm capped again, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, you could do co-coaches and other independent contractors, but that's still not that still doesn't get you out of the one-to-one cycle. You're just handling more one-on-one clients, but you're still in that one-to-one cycle. And so when those clients started canceling on me, when the pandemic hit, and they started pulling back on their finances and being more conservative on how they were spending their money and all of that, or work for them was slowing down, now I got people not renewing their contracts, and so they were dropping like flies back to back. And I was still in the same position that I was when I was just in the previous episode, when I was just talking about how I had the one-on-one client and they canceled their contract early. I was still in that same position. And that's why I'm like, we have got to create a business. So here's the business that I would love for you to have. And this is what I'm working on for myself. I'm thinking, and I feel like I heard this from like a business coach years ago, of your business, you should have 3 tiers of products and or services: low ticket, medium ticket, high ticket. And then I'm saying the premium, because the premium should be a one-on-one. So you could have high, medium, and low, or you could have high and low or high and medium or all three, whatever you want to do. But premium is your one-on-one. So I'm adding in the premium. But you should have some offer in each of those categories, or at least more than one. I'm saying two, maybe three. If you have, depending, I would say it depends on how high ticket your premium is, right? Because you could do premium, you could do high ticket and low ticket. You could do premium, high ticket, and medium ticket, right? It depends, like I said, it depends on your pricing. But you should definitely have that. And those should be like foundational offers that you talk about over and over again. So you never have to wonder who you need to talk to. You never have to wonder what you need to say. All it is, okay, this month I'm promoting this offer. This month I'm promoting the next offer, blah, 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 right? Like you can create that structure for your business so you always know what you're talking about. So you can always be getting people in. But then I also like to say, I like to add in this layer of back-end offers for the clients that you've worked with in the past and you want to bring them back, right? Have some offers in the back end that are just kind of for them. For, yeah, you're not a first timer, you part of the fam. I got something special for you. Have some of those offers. But again, I'm saying that those should be group offers. Now, you cannot listen to me if you want to and have have those back end offers be one-on-one, but I'm saying let those be group offers. Maybe if you have a good case as to why you would have a premium offer front end and a premium offer back end, because I'm saying premium is your one-on-ones, then we could talk about it. Give me a good use case, okay? And then the last kind of, if you want to, for funsies, have some pop-up offers. Those definitely should be group. I'm not even gonna play with you on that one. I'm not gonna hold you on that one. The pop-up offers are offers that are like lead generation offers that you just want to see what's working. That's your experimentation. You know what I mean? But they may or may not come back. They might be a one-hit wonder, right? Have some pop-up offers. So those are like the categories. So I'm saying you need to have the 4 tiers or some version of the 4 tiers, right? Premium, high, medium, low. And then the categories of those offers should be foundational, back end, and pop-up. Boom. If you play around with that and you have some offers that are, kind of fall somewhere in that grid, you're going to have a sustainable business. You're going to have a business that's going to grow fast and that's going to be able to allow you to scale. Because at the end of the day, you're creating your business because you want more freedom. Okay, so I'm back. We were in the car. And of course my phone overheated because even though I was in the shade, the camera was kind of still in the heat or whatever. It was getting hot. Let me see. What was I talking about? Oh, okay. So I was saying, ooh, excuse me. I was saying that, oftentimes you want freedom in your business, right? But freedom isn't just about, just doing what you want to do, but, working when you want to work and, working with the type of clients that you want to work with, right? It's not just about that. It's also about giving yourself options. And so that's also freedom. And so when you kind of pigeonhole yourself into just doing one-on-ones or just having high ticket or premium offers and you haven't diversified your revenue streams, you're taking away your freedom. You're taking away your options. And so that's why I'm saying that for us as small business owners, we need to have these one-to-many offers baked into our business model. Like we need to have that. You can have an agency model, if you want to make sure that, your offers are more premium, right? But you still need to have one-to-many offers. And the majority of your clients should still come from, or even if you did 50-50, say you did 50%. If you have an agency, this is if you have an agency, say you did 50% of your business came from your premium one-to-one services, whether it was you doing the delivering the service or a co-coach or contractor, assistant, whatever. And then the other 50% is coming from one-to-many offers. As long as you have those one-to-many offers, because you can always amp up those offers as you need to. You have more control over that than, okay, now I'm trying to get another client, to pay this premium. That's a small bucket to pull from. And you're relying on that person. I mean, at the end of the day, we all are reliant. If you have a business, we all are reliant on someone making the decision to give us their money. So we don't have that kind of control. But you have better options when you have something that is more, I'm not gonna say reasonably priced because that's not the word that I'm looking for, but like more economical in most people's eyes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so okay, so and I think what we can do is in another episode, we can talk about the type of one-to-many offers you should be thinking about, depending on whether you're a coach, consultant, service provider, creative, a brick and mortar business, right? Because y'all too, like I literally just came from a chiropractor and I always think about my chiropractor's business of, okay, what happens if something happened to you and you can't do this work anymore? What other avenues do you have? And maybe it's something with their, chiropractic practice, or maybe it's something else that they like to do, but they're also generating income, from a whole nother or revenue from a whole other source. So we're going to talk about that more. But look, let me get the mic. Here's what I want you to take away from this, right? Hold on, let me see. Oh, before I forget. And so here's something that I want you to think about before you try to come and tell me that you can't do this. Let me just say this before I let you go. Here's some common, I guess, mindset blocks that I hear, and then no, I haven't really thought this. My blocks came from like me helping my clients more than me, but some people, and you might be in this boat, right? You might say, people won't get the same results unless I work with them one-on-one. That's not true, right? Well, you know what? Let me not lie. Well, okay, I'm not lying, but I would say you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but that's the point. They shouldn't be getting the exact same results from working with you one-on-one versus a group program. That's why they pay the premium to get, and this is what I like to say. When you're working with someone one-on-one, they get the biggest transformation. It's the easiest way to the transformation. It's the fastest way to the transformation. And it's the most customized way to that transformation, whatever it is that you're promising them. When you have a group program, they get a bigger transformation than if they were doing it on their own. They get a faster way to that transformation than if they were doing it on their own. It's an easier path to the transformation than if they were trying to figure it out on their own. And so, no, it's not going to be customized to them, but they're still getting a transformation. That's the important piece. And so I don't want you to get hung up on, well, they're not going to get the same transformation, like it's diluting my one-on-ones. It's not. That's the point. You want them to have a bigger transformation when they're working with you one-on-one than through your group program. It's okay. And you can still deliver a high level, high transformation group program, right? Keep the integrity, keep your integrity, and just create something that is going to knock their socks off, even within a group format. Okay. Or, a DIY format or a digital product format, whatever. You might say, I don't know how to structure a group offer. Well, that's why you got people like me. I can help you figure that out. Period. Done. Okay. I'm too busy to even think about building something new. Now, see, look, now what did I just tell you in my previous episode? You don't want to end up in the situation where all your clients are gone and you scrambling. So make the time. That's all I got. We got to make the time. Period. That's what I'm doing right now. That's the shift that I'm making right now. I mean, granted, I have more time on my hands, but I'm going to make the best use of that time, period. Okay. And then my audience isn't big enough yet. Okay. All we need is a few people to get started. That's how I have to look at it. Right. And so that's how you have to look at it too. Okay. So, and look, I'm not saying that what you're saying isn't valid. I'm just saying that we can't let that stop us. Right. Because otherwise, what's the alternative? Okay. So we're going to wrap this up. So here's what I want you to walk away with if you don't hear nothing else that I said. Okay. Every coach, consultant, or service provider, you are going to reach a point where the hustle and bustle of trying to get one-on-one clients consistently, constantly, always looking for the next client is going to just wear you out. Period. It's going to happen. And so you have to decide when enough is enough. Or even before you get to that point, like why wait till you get to that point, right? And then just think about that a one-to-many offer is really how you can reclaim your time, how you can reclaim your energy, how you can scale, right? Actually scale your business, not just grow it, but scale it and scale it with intention, right? And you can finally really step into being a leader with your clients, a leader in your industry. Like you'll have just more time to show up differently, or you will have more time to just live life, to do what you want to do during the day versus being behind a desk or a computer or whatever, right? So I just want you to remember that a one-to-many offer is not a death sentence of your one-on-ones. It's not a dilution of your one-on-ones. It's a different version or a different path to the transformation that you promise. That's it. So that's all I got. We're going to wrap it up. If you are loving this episode or these episodes, definitely interact with me, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Check out the description and the show notes of this episode to learn how we can work together. I've got a few different offers for my listeners here, and I would love to work with you. I'd love to support you and help you. If you have questions, definitely let me know. And I will see you in the next one.